the 8 biggest financial mistakes men make. But I'm gonna preface it. It says men, but I'm gonna say, and it can be women and just people in general, right? So I'm gonna high point it real quick. I found this. Your boy always be digging in the archive, trying to find. I'm always digging in the archive, looking like, what are some of those things that impact my people, man? That so I can talk to them so they can be aware.
Mm,
One, avoid these at all costs. One, marrying wrong. Two, being uninsured. Three, impulsive spending. Four, living above your means. Five, this you, bro, having no emergency fund. That's what you focus on. Six, taking on way too much debt.
mm.
Seven, leasing new cars every 3 years. Yeah, that's insane. Eight, depending on one income stream. Those are the
Mm.
8 biggest financial mistakes.
Wow.
So when you hear that, what where do your mind go? And we can go one by one, but I just wanted to hit it real quick, and then I'll repeat them, but I just wanted us to be back on the screen so we can talk through them and you know um just really think about that, man. So one, so just to recap, so the eight biggest financial mistakes. The first one, marrying wrong.
Wow. So that's funny. I know me and you got a unique perspective. Not unique, but we're both married, so we're on the other side of it to speak of. But man, I think that I like the message in terms of you do be intentional, be strategic with marriage. It's not treated as permanently as it should be. I think it's not.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's a business relationship as well. Like you're melding you're meshing two people, and y'all are going to become one, but it's going to be one with two people giving 100%, not 50-50, not 60-40, but it's got to be 200%. And so you got to make sure that both of y'all at y'all's 100% are going in the same direction or aligned. And if that's not the case financially, it's not going to be a pretty sight. And if for other reasons is y'all aren't aligned and the marriage has to come to an end, because everybody comes into it all happy and joyous, but now when it comes time to break it off, it's easy to enter a relationship amicably. It's hard to end one amicably and on the same page. And yeah, that's my friend, but we're just gonna go our separate paths and split the money 50-50. It can get real ugly real quick if you're going without a plan. And it's yeah.
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 Yeah. So you're sharing your perspective, so I'm gonna hit you with my perspective. And when they say, I wish I would have knew this coming into it, well, you know it on a logical level, on a textbook level, but not like a deep, deep level. It's a marriage is spiritual. You said a business, but it's spiritual. It's a commitment. It's a covenant. And you coming together as one. And so one of the first things that is really important to understand is really understanding what is a marriage and making sure you understand the dynamics of the roles, like the expectations, the is it two head of the houses? Is it like even just something? Is it two head of the house? Does she think she the head of the house, or do you think you the head of the house? Um, what is going to be your guiding light? Like, what principles are you following that y'all are agreeing upon? Is it biblical principles? Is it your own that you came up with? Is
Right.
it and y'all both have y'all different versions of what y'all made up with and y'all haven't communicated it with each other? Like, but what is the base? What is the foundation? Because with the foundation, it's not in its foundational principles, it's not going to change. So even if the guy, even if the man start veering off, creating his own this is it in alignment with the principles that y'all agreed upon? And so y'all both have something that y'all can refer back to and say, no, you're getting away from what the principles are. All right. And for me, everyone has their own thing, but as men, we're the head of the household. We're supposed to be the covering. We're supposed to be the protector. And with all of that, does your wife know that? Does your wife agree with that? Do you agree with it? Are you stepping up? Are you leaning in? Are you being who you need to be to even for your wife to feel comfortable under your protection, under your guidance, under your leadership? Are you a terrible leader to where it's like no one probably should be following you? And so there's a lot that needs to be flushed out, and to be thought about, and which could lead to a financial disaster when if you're not a good leader, ain't nobody following nobody someone that ain't no good leader. Like you're not about to walk me off no cliff. You're not about to walk me into financial ruin. And so those are the real conversations we have to have as well. Like, are you being the best version of yourself? And we're not no one's perfect, but like, are you where you are today? Do you have guidance? Do you have great counseling? Do you have wise counsel in your circle helping you to develop into manhood so your wife can feel comfortable under your leadership, or are you just making a whole bunch of terrible decisions? So these are the real, and I'm focusing on the men because I'm a man. Like I can't tell a woman what a woman need to do. Like we could talk about what it says in the Bible and the principles and all that, but I can only focus on the men part. Like, and so that's one. Um, Two, being uninsured.
Mm.
That was pretty straightforward. We don't have to spend a lot of time there. Bro, you talked about healthcare. You don't have no health insurance, as for one. And then you have to, like, those medical bills, they start accumulating, they start jumping up quick, and you upside down before you know it. Car insurance. Like you mess around, have one accident, you can mess around and go in debt upside down if you borrowed on a car and you don't have gap insurance or I'm just different types of insurance,
Mm.
for coverage in the event that can help with anything that if you're not paying deductibles, you're at risk. And putting yourself at risk. And of course, life insurance. And if you're using life insurance, you're up out of here, right? Like, and then you leaving your spouse and or your family in a not so great financial situation. And it's just not responsible.
It's definitely, we always liken the game of money to a game, like football. And there's football, there's offense, defense. I think that the best teams have a great defense. We saw what the Eagles just did, just off their defense. They were smacking Mahomes around. So if your defense is fire,
Man,
your offense only got to do so much. Hey, I thought one little lob. Now we look like world beaters because the defense handled it lightweight. But okay, so on a financial tip, if you can come in and make sure, like kind of like what you talked about, make sure that you're just being introduced to new ideas, new concepts of financial defense that work for you. So are you somebody who needs to ensure your income potential? You know what I'm saying? Are you somebody who needs to think about things like that? Maybe it makes sense for you, maybe it doesn't, but just think about things like that and make sure that you're protected in different scenarios. Do you do Uber? Are you a DoorDash driver? Do you have proper insurance? And like one small example, we got a rental car. We've got a rental car twice in the past couple months, but both times we got the insurance. Maybe in the past I might not have got it. I might be like, man, I don't need that. But I was like, you know what? What's 30 to 40 bucks versus this person's telling me the whole car is covered. I really don't have the whole car in my bank account. We just talked about how I'm trying to get to 15K at the beginning. I don't have this car might be worth 50,000. So it's just it didn't take a rock me. I need to pull out my notepad and start doing the math to figure out I should get this insurance. And come to find out, I was going from New York to Boston. Well, I went to New York and then came back to Boston. The drive there, super smooth. The drive back, winter storm. You can't see the lanes, one of those type of drives. And so I don't know how I keep wind up driving in these scenarios, but just imagine I mess around and I'm locked in and focused, but just imagine I mess around and slide and hit another car or hit a tree and I don't have insurance. I don't have no one to blame in that scenario but myself in that case. I would have been the one who was stingy and didn't get the insurance.
Well, hopefully you had car insurance because then your deductible was going to pay for that. But I got a quick story for you on that since you went in the direction of rentals. So before I moved to Houston, I flew to Houston to check out the scene, see if I was, interested, and I got a rental. Well, I was navigating, and if you've ever been to Houston, they have feeder roads. So like when you exit, you get out, feeder roads. Well, I was getting ready to miss my turn.
Mm.
You know how you're on the freeway or the interstate and you see your turn and you make a last minute try to swing over.
Yeah.
Well, I made a last minute swing over, like swung over, and I didn't realize it was like how you see some people hurry up and exit and they just miss like the pop in the curve or whatever. Well, I didn't miss it. Your boy hit that thing. Boom!
Mm-hmm.
Tire went flat instantly. And it bent up the rim. It tore it up. And it had a little fender uh damage as well. Like the well, like where the wheel, the wheel is, it had a little damage in there too. Guess
Right.
what, y'all? Your boy had that full cut. Your boy had that what they call it, that damage waiver.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, I hit him up. I'm like, hey, look, this car, like something's going on with this car. Something is wrong with the
So,
car. And so I had somebody come pick me up. They took me to the rental spot. They took me to the rental spot. Like I told them where the car was, whatever. They when they picked it up, I got a new one. I was like, hey, sorry about that. But and then I got the new one, I was gone. And so like otherwise I'd have had to use my insurance and my deductible and all of that. But I said all that to say the fact that you said that, like, it instantly made me think about that. And ever since then, I've always had insurance. And to be honest, it's just a peace of mind. Like I've had to run a car so many times and it was fine, but I just prefer to just get it, have a peace of mind. So if somebody hit it, open it up, ding it, whatever, like
yeah,
I'm good. Like I don't have to think about all that.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So number three, impulsive spending. That's easy to do. We get so much advertisement every single day, and also cookies. The cookies, every time you're opting into cookies and all of that, what's happening, and then also things that you're searching. Like so then when you come back on your phone, you're on Google, things are popping up. You get on websites, things are popping up that you may have searched, and so or you might see something on TV. Somebody might mention something,
Yeah.
and it's not in the budget, but you buy it anyway, and it's just like you get it, like you get it, or you out, you say, you know what, man, I need to treat myself,
Yeah.
but it ain't in the budget, but you do it anyway, and then you may float it on your credit card, and you just tell yourself, I'll get it next time, impulsive spending.
Man, it's the part of budgeting and financial responsibility that's not sexy. It's just the consistent parts of, like you said, just paying it off every month, regardless. And part of paying it off every month is not running it up every month either, because you can't pay off with what money you don't have. So just help yourself out and try to stay lean. Stay
Yeah,
down until you come up.
which leads to number four, living above your means.
See?
Eight, one of the financial mistakes is living above your means. You riding in the whip, you have no business riding in. You make 50K, 60K, and you driving in a $75,000 car or a $60,000 car. It's more than your salary. Like, like process that. It's more than your net worth. Process that.
Mm, mm,
It just puts it in context, right? Like when, but no one says like no one says that to you before you make that decision. It's usually afterwards that you're reflecting where you're like, dang, I did do that. Like, so imagine someone saying that to you before you make that purchase. More than likely, you got your mind made up. You're gonna do it anyway. You're gonna justify yourself into it anyway. But like,
mm,
but just think about that. Like, am I buying my net worth right now? Am I or am I buying something and it's more than my salary? That's wild. That's wild. And it's not like an asset like a home or like a rental property or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a something that's an asset, right? Like you don't have to view an asset in that way, but like liability, you absolutely should be thinking about that like that. Well, it should be a thought. It could consider it for it to be a thought the next time that you're in that situation because you can get car fever. You get in there, you sit in there and it'd be like, ooh, you,
mm.
you sit in there, you smelling it, it's brand new, it ain't got no miles on it. You
Yep.
like it feel good. And it don't matter how good you are with budgeting and like when me and my wife we go, man, it was a time my wife she was trying to talk to me. She was like, well, I mean, we could just see how much they'll give you for your car. And I was thinking, no, we can't. I was like, well, that's how I start. Well, let's just see.
Yep.
And it's like we're not gonna see nothing. I just wanted to see how I feel, just wanted to see, future goals. I'm like, or like so we'll look at each other like if we do go now, like, okay, we're not buying anything.
Yeah.
We good? Ready, set, break. Then we going.
Man. It's funny. I kind of got a little funny story because you can go in there with no intention of buying and still wind up
Zero.
with a crazy experience. Like me and my brother-in-law, he loves cars. So we went to in Boston they got like a BMW. I think they have BMW, Land Rover and all that, Range Rover and all that. Porsche. I think it's a couple others that I might be missing, but they have like a little strip right there that one person owns. And so we just walked in one day, and we just sitting in the cars and whatnot, like, oh, this is nice, this is nice. And so we walked in one of the buildings, and so we already just kind of had a default, like we're not buying nothing, we really can't. We won't, but we still want to look around because it's cool. They just let you look around, let you do all that. And so long story short, we went into one of them and we asked one of the ladies at the front desk. We said, "Hey, do y'all have more cars upstairs that we can see?" And she's like, "Yeah, just go that way. Go that way." And so we went that way, and we get stopped. This person's like, "Hey, you can't go that way without someone accompanying you." And we was like, "Okay." Um, but he was on a phone, and so we was kind of like, that's confusing though. We thought maybe he was confused or something, or had us confused with somebody else. But long story short, we kept going that way, and we ended up getting an escort up to like this secret area that like no one else is going up to, and we're seeing like their warehouse, the inventory, and we back there with no intention at all to buy, but still like they're back there like the same guy ended up coming like, "Hey man, no, I was saying like I'll take you up there. Just give me a second, like I'll go with you." And so we seeing the cars that other people aren't seeing. But yeah, man, it's that's a scary place to be if you got some loose money to hanging around. That's a scary place to be, man. Sheesh,
Yeah. Number 5, having no emergency fund.
it's not a good feeling.
That's a financial mistake. And that could take you into the negative, into infinity. And they just keep counting negative, negative, negative. Number 6, taking on way too much debt.
Mm.
Credit card debt, student loan debt, car debt, any other debt, emotional debt, aka emotional baggage. That's a debt too, because that's a liability.
Physical debt. That's donuts.
This
You know what I'm saying? Shoot.
man, okay, yeah, okay. So with your health, man, see, Ivy League, man, you know what I'm saying? So so that donut is a liability to your body.
Yeah.
That chicken breast is an asset to your body with the protein. Got
Hmm.
it. Okay. I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah. Okay. 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 Seven, leasing new cars every 3 years.
Mm.
And I'll add on. I'll add on. I'll add an extra one. Buying a financing a car, you pay it off, and you immediately go get another car. Like as soon as you finish paying off the one that you have.
I hear that a lot.
That is a financial mistake. Huge financial mistake. And
That
I'm
was
and
great.
oh, here's the other lie. Here's the other lie. So it's paid off, right? You enjoying it. It's paid off. And the majority of the time, as you was making payments, like wasn't too much going on. You know, your oil change the tires, little stuff. Maintenance. That's what they call. You have a car. It's maintenance.
Right.
Some come up. Let's just say it's a starter. Man, it's starting to break down, and it's probably cheaper to go and get something else because by the time I keep paying for these repairs, it's gonna be worth more than the car.
Yeah.
It's a lie. You're telling yourself a lie, but what you're doing is you're justifying yourself into payments for the next 5 to 7 years.
Mm.
Especially if you're buying a vehicle that's again going back to the income, is equal or greater than your income. And heck, even if you make six figures or whatever, you're not gonna pay cash. So more than likely, well, most people aren't gonna pay cash or do not pay cash for their vehicles. So you're gonna be paying you're about to make a 5 to 7 year decision off being slightly inconvenienced to go get your vehicle repaired. How do I know? I did it. I did
Yep.
it. And I had my home girl D. We still tight to this day. Me and the wife, we went to go visit them not too long ago because they had a baby shower in North Carolina, in Charlotte. Um, and she told me, she was like, don't get no car, like don't get that car. Now
Yep.
this was it's like 14 or 20. She like, you still don't need to go get the car, just get it fixed. And I'm like I was lying to myself and I did it. And
Mm.
so that was a financial mistake. That was a financial mistake because I had the car. I just needed to get it repaired real quick. It just seemed like it's stuff keep happening. That was dumb, dumb. So I'm speaking from experience. Last but not least, a financial mistake, a big financial mistake, depending on one income stream. Mm. A lot of people are feeling it right now who may be impacted by just the changing of things in the government. They're starting to reduce jobs there, or in the private sector where publicly traded companies or companies that aren't public are laying off, reducing, more cost efficient, become more cost efficient, or whatever their reasoning is. It's their company. They have to be beholden to the shareholders, or um, but one stream of income, and you hadn't been preparing financially, it could be financially devastating. So that's a huge mistake. And heck, even if you were preparing all of that preparation, and then you lose that one income stream, you still are in a tough financial spot if you don't hurry up and get back out there. And so you're in a financial vulnerable position. You just don't realize it yet. It's because the money's still coming in.
Mm. I think that the key word there for that one, for number 8 for me is depend. The fact that depending. I think that,
Mm.
you know, because I know probably most people listening might be like, well, I only got one. What you want me to do? But it's not the fact that you have one that's like, okay, I need to hang my head in shame. But you need to start putting thought on, okay, what am I doing with this money that I'm receiving from this one stream? How can I grow it? How can I either let it grow itself through investments, or what can I do in my free time? How can I combine this time and money to produce more money? And so I think that, just like I said, that word depend, you might, I don't want to say, it almost sounds counter intuitive to say you putting too much energy into your job, but you at your work like it's life or death, and so you're emotionally invested. You're like, man, you're almost like operating out of fear, like I can't lose this. This is my life. Versus you're operating out of a creative freedom to like, okay, I like having this job. I like having this income coming in, but I can pivot if necessary. I got a plan B. And so if you're not there yet, don't panic, but figure out how to get there. Start strategizing.
Financial independence is the motto. Because you said dependent. Ah, that man, I'm dependent on that job. So regardless on what happens, I gotta eat it. I gotta take it. Even if you're not in a situation where you get fired, when you hear something you don't want to hear, you're not even in position to say, you know what? I don't want to do that. You know, like, think about it. Think about the times that you were on your job and like real talk, you just like, I don't agree. And nah, I don't want to do that. But and I'm not just saying like walk away, if you're not in the financial situation. But financial freedom, financial independence should be on everyone's radar, or at least everyone should consider it. And it just to make work optional, to also maybe start to explore other things. But it's a journey. It takes time to get there, and all the research that I've been doing into it, and just even my own journey. Yeah, it's really important because what happens is you don't realize you don't really realize it until you mess around, fast forward, when you start getting in those older ages, and then it starts getting harder and harder to find something else. You thinking, dang, I made a huge mistake. I totally neglected financial freedom, and it's hard to recover. It's not, as long as you have breath in your body, it's it's possible, but it's not looking so good. It's not looking so good. But man, man. Dependent. You hit my when you say I'm depending on daddy for a check.
Yeah.
Oof. Ah, it's rough, man. That's rough. But it's real, man. It's real.